Dear students, today we'll be studying the first topic for the discussion is small industry financing in developing countries. How a small industry financing is benefited in developing countries? Because in developing countries, generally you will have a small scale industries, tiny units, ancillary units. So these all small scale industries, the small industrial financing will support this all local entrepreneurs. Okay, let us see one by one what exactly it is. So the first kind of small scale um, industry which supports is no SSI units can take off without monetary support. So first is from getting a monetary support from the different institutions like financing from central government. The first kind of finance which is supported in the developing countries to the entrepreneurs is from the central government. The central government has established a bank called as SIDBI, which is Small Industrial Development Bank of India, which supports the need of the small entrepreneurs in the different kind and different places. And their operations are mainly classified into three heads. First is direct finance. Second is indirect finance. Second is direct finance, and third is promotional and development activities. So SIDBI, what it does is it provides finance to commercial banks who gives finance and enables them to provide short-term loans, credit to SSI, provides bill discounting facilities. Okay, they provide finance particularly to the commercial banks and other things who are giving the loans for the short-term loan and credit to small-scale industries. Okay, there are so many small-scale industries in India. All right, to these small-scale industries, whichever commercial bank are providing loan, the loan will be provided by SIDBI, and they will also do the services of bills discounting facilities. So this is indirect financing. Why it is indirect financing? Because they are not giving you direct facilities. They are giving you through a commercial bank. Like one SIDBI is the main bank. Under them, it is being operated like they are going to monitor through SBI or Canara Bank or Syndicate Bank. So that way it becomes indirect bank, indirect finance. Then comes direct finance. What it does is SIDBI, it provides a setting of new units, modernization, upgradation of existing units for developing marketing, networking, for export promotion, for infrastructure development. So it does direct finance for various things. Like you want to upgrade something, you want to develop your marketing network, or you want to have a better export promotion, infrastructure development. So here directly they are going to set up some new units for you. So such kind of facilities, what is provided, these are direct finance without any intervention of some other external bodies. Then comes promotional and development activities. Here, SIDBI aims at technology upgradation, market promotion, quality management, HR development, guarantee free credit for a long term, and working capital financing. So these are after having a implementation. When you are doing in operations, you will come across various kind of difficulties. Like you are existing in the market, but you don't have a technology upgradation. You don't like you require market promotion. You want to know about your quality management. You want to have a better HR development. Similarly, you want to manage your working capital. So to do these all kind of things, when finance is provided by SIDBI, that is called as promotional and development activities. Okay, so this is the first kind of source which the entrepreneurs in the developing countries they take as the finance. Next is finance from state government. Okay, state government also provides you finance to the entrepreneurs in the developing countries such as India. The first important finance which is provided by state government is State Finance Corporation, which is called as SFC. There are different state corporations, finance corporation like Karnataka. It is called as Karnataka State Finance Corporation. Maharashtra, they have their own Maharashtra State Finance Corporation. Likewise, every state, they have their own state finance corporations. So they provide long-term credit to small-scale industries, functions to achieve socio-economic goal set up by state government, amount financed by SFC to SSI, then is 73% of the total sanctions to SSI. Okay, so whatever amount is sanctioned, generally, this is why they have set up is to have a socio-economic development. And this is set up by the state government, and the state finance corporation, they finance mainly to small scale industries. And how much you are applying, they sanction near about 73%, right? If you applied that much, so they can sanction up to 73% of the loan. Then there is one more corporation called as SSIDC, which is State Small Industrial Development Corporation. And these are for very small industries again. In small scale industries, again, there are some cottage industries, teeny industries. They are so small that they are working in just like in some house, some room, or some area. So to support these kind of small industries run by an individual person or one or two person in industries, small cottage and teeny industries, to procure distribution, to get the raw material, or to have a higher purchase facility to purchase a machinery. So these kind of corporations, these kind of the body set up by the government, they help them in the developing countries. Similarly, in India, there is one more thing called as State Industrial Development Corporation, that is SIDIC. They undertake wholly owned by the state government, act as a catalyst for the state-wise industrial development, mainly engaged in infrastructure development. Their main focus is, instead of providing any other thing, they main focus on the infrastructure development. Okay, so these are the three important institution under state government. They are helping for the entrepreneurs in the nation. Then comes financing from banks. Banks are also playing a very important role to provide the finance to the entrepreneurs, like commercial banks, right? These commercial bank, they give priority to finance like short-term, medium-term, and long-term needs of the small scale industries. They provide finance in the following ways, like they provide you cash credit, they provide you bills discounting, and purchasing, term loan, demand loan. Each and every kind of loan is being provided by commercial bank to all the small scale industries and entrepreneurs. Similarly, there are other banks called as regional rural banks also. They are called as RRB. They are set up for the rural economy. They are set up for financing agricultural and rural activities, and they provide the major loan to rural artisans, village and cottage industries. So this rural artisans, or the people who are engaged in some artistic works, right? They are engaged in some skilled and artistic works. So such rural population or village, as well as some cottage industry, some small cottage industry, to cater their needs, the regional rural bank will provide them finance. Similarly, cooperative banks. There are so many cooperative banks who are set up to finance the small scale industries in urban areas and give credit to priority sectors. Okay, instead of financing to other, focusing on other areas like housing is there, vehicle is there, or any other areas, these cooperative banks which are being set up to finance industries, they are financing for small scale industries. Okay, so these are the important banks which are providing the loan or finance to the entrepreneurs when he is starting the business. Then financing for statutory bodies. There are statutory boards which finance the small scale units in India. These set up to ensure a coordination between small scale sector. There are various financial institution and government. It renders advice to the government on various policy matters and other issue of small scale industries. So there are various statutory boards established by the government. So these are statutory boards established in one particular states, or these are established by one particular government. These are financing the institutions, the small scale institution, as well as these boards are also giving their advices to the government on the issue or on the various policy matters of small scale industries. Okay. Then comes financing by statutory corporation. There are so many corporations which the government has started to finance the industries, small scale industries especially. Those are like National Small Industries Corporation, which is called as NSIC. They provide assistance in export, training in industrial trade, marketing support, supply of indigenous and imported machines on hire purchase or leasing basis. Okay, so these are mainly focusing on other matters, like they don't finance directly for the infrastructure development, or they don't finance for you for various other matter. First of all, these kind of small industrial corporations, they give you more importance on assistance in export. Like if you want to export anything out of India, that these people, these institutions, they play a very important role. They will give you a training also, right? Training in case of industrial trade, as well as they will give you marketing support, how to do a marketing of your product, and supply of your indigenous kind of products, as well as imported machines on hire purchase. Suppose you want to import any machines from any other country, so you can take the help of this National Small Industrial Corporation, and you can purchase on the basis of hire purchase. Leasing also is been the main part of the National Small Industrial Corporation. Under the statutory corporation, there is one more body that is called as Northeastern Development Finance Corporation Limited. So that is called as NEFDI. So it provides research facilities. It helps for international funding also. Like these kind of corporations, they help the entrepreneur to do a research. Suppose he already have a product, now he want to like do certain innovation in the product, or he want to change certain things in the product, he want to have some research. To that kind of research facilities, the funds are being provided by Northeastern Development Finance Corporation. They generally are getting funds from the international financing or funding. They collect international funding from the different people, like different developing countries or different entrepreneurs of the world. So from there, they collect and provide the funding for the Indian small scale industries. Then there is one more important institution in India, commission in India, that is called as Khadi and Village Commission. That is KVIC. This finance schemes are for interest subsidy scheme of bank finance. Like if anybody has taken any loan, the interest will become subsidy. He can eligible to get a subsidy of that, and he can raise the loans from bank to extent of amount mentioned in the certificate, and can be used to for a short and long term finance. Okay, so if he has taken any loan, first of all, he can get a certificate from KVIC, that is Khadi and Village Commission, that in that they will write that interest subsidy eligibility certificate. If he has got that particular certificate, then he can go to the banks and he can apply for a loan. So whatever amount of certificate he is there with, like he has a certificate of 1 lakh rupees, or he has a certificate of 10,000 rupees, that much amount of interest will be, he is eligible to get reduced. Okay, so he suppose he has to pay 50,000 interest yearly. So out of 50,000, 10,000 will be the reduction in the interest. So that is a scheme provided by KYC. Then similarly, margin money scheme. Commercial bank and state KYC provides margin money to entrepreneurs for mainly village industries. Okay, they provide margin money. Means they have to pay, these entrepreneurs can pay some margin money to the commercial bank, and then they can take some lump sum amount of loan from the banks also. Additional state government agencies, there are various other additional state government agencies. The state commissioner or the director of industries and district industrial center, DIC. In every district it will be there, it is called as district industry center. They will be leading with these state government agencies. They will be focusing only on implements the government policies for development of SSI. Like whatever government has made a policy regarding a small scale industries, those all policies, whether they are properly implemented in the state, it will be seen by the state commission, and it is properly maintained and mentioned and implemented in the district, that will be seen by the district industries center set up to implement a centrally sponsored scheme. Okay, so this district industrial centers will see that if there is any centrally sponsored schemes are available which government is announcing, it has to make sure that the scheme has to reach to the right person, and the rightly needed small scale industries entrepreneurs, to them it has to reach. And recently set up single window clearance system for the benefit of small scale entrepreneurs. So there is also called as a scheme which is called as single window clearance. So single window clearance means where he don't have to travel at many places, only at one particular place the single window clearance will happen, and that is a lot of benefit for small scale industries entrepreneurs. So there are so many other agencies. Those are non-government organization, NGOs registered under Societies Registration Act, and they are non-profit organizations. Okay, they also help the entrepreneurs. They also help the businessmen, like involved in various activities like training of the management assistants, setting up of testing centers, etc. Like these are non-government organizations. They don't take any fees. They will train you. Like if anybody wants to be start their own industry, or they want to do a production of some small unit or whatever is there, in that case these all NGOs will help them to do those all things without any cost. And here they give you them training, management assistance, setting up of testing center, etc. will all things done by the NGOs. Similarly, there is a other agency called as Housing Urban Development Corporation Limited. It is called as HUDCO. It helps in the infrastructure development of small scale industries. As HUDCO is also meant for the infrastructure development for living, like they construct the house and then it is meant for them. Similarly, it also meant for the infrastructure development of small scale industries also. That is also an important agency.